Well, good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson tonight. We're fewer than 40 hours away from Donald Trump's inauguration, and the John Lewis-led boycott of Friday's festivities continues to grow by the moment. As of right now, at least 68 House Democrats say they are ditching Trump's inauguration. Some say they oppose his policies. Others insist his entire presidency, the man himself, is illegitimate.
Hold it now.
Do you plan on trying to forge a relationship with Donald Trump?
You know, I believe in forgiveness. I believe in trying to work with people. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very difficult. I don't see this president-elect as a legitimate president.
You do not consider him a legitimate president. Why is that?
I think the Russians participated in helping this man get elected, and they helped destroy the candidacy of Hillary Clinton. I don't plan to attend inauguration. It would be the first one that I miss since I've been in the Congress. You cannot be at home with something that you feel that is wrong.
I think one of the things people are taking issue with is not the question about whether John Lewis is immune from criticism. Obviously, he's a partisan Democrat, and he said President-elect Trump is illegitimate. Certainly lots of room to criticize there in terms of what he's saying a few days before the inaugural. But the question of describing his district as crime-infested, urging him to focus on burning inner cities, and referring to this man, who you refer to as an icon, accurately, as all talk, no action. I think on Martin Luther King Day weekend, I think that struck a lot of people as a little tone deaf, including many Republicans.
Yeah, but I think it gets one-sided sometimes. In Jeff Sessions' nomination hearings, there were 3 African-American legislators, Cory Booker, John Lewis, and I think Cedric Richmond came forward and decided to testify against Jeff Sessions. But there were also 3 African Americans who had worked with him and known him for years and years who testified in his favor. So I think we shouldn't, when things involve race, it gets very, very sensitive. All of us, or none of us actually, want to be considered to be either racially insensitive. And so it's a very, very important subject. But I think we shouldn't ignore that people are partisan. So John Lewis is a partisan. I have a great deal of respect for him, but he's a partisan, and I disagree with him on issues. I should be able to honestly disagree with him and not have it all come back to I have no appreciation for civil rights icon because of this. And I think that's the part that I think sometimes unfair.
So here's a famous and skilled communicator. Her name is Simone Sanders. She was, in fact, the spokeswoman for Bernie Sanders, kind of a big deal. And she said this, and I'm quoting, on CNN, in this November after the election, in my opinion, we don't need white people leading the Democratic Party right now. Do you agree with that?
We don't need white people leading the Democratic Party right now.
Look, I think that it is great to have people like Simone's passion and, certainly the young voters that were attracted to Bernie Sanders. They are a part of the Democratic Party, and we need to find ways where everybody feels welcomed. I don't
But wait
agree
a second. I'm
with...
sorry. What do you think of that? We don't need white people leading the Democratic Party right now.
We don't need white people leading the Democratic Party right now.
Do you think she should have said that? Do you think that's an okay thing to say, and do you agree with it?
Well, clearly I'm in the race, Tucker, so I very specifically think we need to move Green leading the Democratic Party right now.
No, don't be silly. Answer the question.
Where
she said we don't need white
into the
people.
Race.
Okay, but hold on. This is not a fringe person. This is Simone Sanders, so we don't need white people leading the party. Now, I don't even need to play the thought experiment what would happen if someone on the Republican side said we don't need black people leading the Republican Party. That would be bad, and I would denounce it. Will you denounce that? Is that okay that she said that, and do you agree with her?
Look, just because we have the same hairstyle doesn't mean that I agree with everything that she says.
Wow.
Will you work with me and others to make public colleges and universities tuition-free through federal and state efforts?
Senator, I think that's a really interesting idea, and it's really great to consider and think about. But I think we also have to consider the fact that there's nothing in life that's truly free. Somebody's going to pay for it. And so,
yes, you're right. You're right.
So
somebody will pay for it.
Do you think that guns have any place in or around schools?
I think that's best left to locales and states to decide.
You can't say definitively today that guns shouldn't be in schools?
Well, I will refer back to Senator Enzi and the school that he was talking about in Wapiti, Wyoming. I think probably there, I would imagine that there's probably a gun in the school to protect from potential grizzlies.
My source says that he owes the Russians a lot of money, like $500 million or something. So now here's the scenario. So he becomes president. Oh my God.
You said it.
I know.
She said it.
Because,
this is news.
as day follows night, that's going to happen. I know that.
Yeah.
So he becomes the leader of the free world. You can't make this up. And the Russians can blackmail him about the boycotts, for example, and all of the stuff that we've been doing. What's the word I'm looking
Sanctions?
for? The sanctions, right. So he lifts the sanctions because otherwise we're going to get you, sucker.
Just get that sucker.
And that's why there's a problem.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
So in a tribute to BuzzFeed's brilliant method of framing garbage into stories, here are 7 reasons why BuzzFeed should not have run the dossier. Number 1, none of it was verified because fact-checking is hard, and BuzzFeed is too busy finding pictures of melons that look like Kim Kardashian's ass. 2, it was opposition research, not intel, meaning it was meant to be titillating, like a BuzzFeed article featuring melons that look like Kim Kardashian's ass. Number 3, the disinformation had been around forever and no one touched it. It was like the last hot dog at 7-Eleven. If you eat it, you own it. And you'll probably crap your pants after. Number 4, the idea that Trump would have hookers defile a bed because President Obama slept in it, that sounds like a fever dream written by Sean Penn on a mescaline bender. Seriously, if you believe that, you also believe Bill Clinton is faithful and Lena Dunham is talented. Number 5. Number 5, BuzzFeed never ever would have published this if it were about Obama. Number 6, BuzzFeed never ever would have published this if it were about Obama. Number 7, BuzzFeed never would have published this if it were about Obama.
Defending the nation's baddest grandmother, I'm talking Hillary Rodham Clinton. I get upset when people say that Hillary needs to smile.
Trump and Pence are fascists. I don't think they know what fascism is. Hey, what makes Donald Trump fascist? Can someone tell me why Trump is fascist?
Illegitimate.
Hey, why is Trump illegitimate, ma'am? Why is Donald Trump illegitimate?
Use fascism, Godfather.
Why is Donald Trump fascist? Do you know what fascism is?
Trump and Pence are fascists.
Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you a couple questions? What has Donald Trump done that's fascist? What has Donald Trump done? Well, can you tell me? I don't need your flyer. Why don't you tell me?
That's why you don't know.
Well, that's why I'm following around. Now you just littered. He just littered. So he's a litterer. So that's nice. Can you answer a question? How is Trump fascist, sir? See, here's my problem. All you protesters never answer a question. And you just say F Trump.